So hey, it's Cat Paterson again here from straighttalkingginger.com, partner in crime to gutsy business owners, and I just love helping people 60-proof their income by building some income streams. And part of those income streams is our lovely branded books. And some of our interviews are now called branded Books Blethers, which you have to say quite slowly because it can be quite difficult to say. And I have the lovely Kate Ferrer with me today. So hi Kate, welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for giving me your time and hopping onto this interview today. And Kate has an amazing business called Make with Kate, and she's been in our branded books community now since January, I think, so that's kind of 5-6 months now, and I can assure you she is going at it like gangbusters, getting all these books and creating amazing things, doing some really interesting things with our marketing to make sales. So without further ado, Kate, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you got up to in your business.
Right, well, I'm a cookery teacher. That's what my day job is. I work in a secondary school as a cookery teacher part-time. And on the side, I've been running my other business, Make with Kate, since 2016.
Oh, wow.
I've been teaching mainly primary school age children to cook. I've run holiday workshops, which is cookery and craft. I've taught over 50s, run cookery groups with them. I do one-to-one cookery. I teach in children's homes as well, one-to-one. And every year in January I set up, I ask myself what I'd like to achieve from that year. Sure. And for a couple of years now I've wanted to create a recipe book with all of the recipes that I use that are accessible for children and families and people who aren't that good at cooking perhaps, or not that practiced at cooking. And I really didn't know, I had no idea how to go about it. And in my head I was going to use the printing company that I use for flyers, and I was going to design a book and then get delivered 100 books and then try and sell them. And I'm so glad I didn't. And I'm so glad I put my my goal, that was one of my goals, put it on Instagram as part of an Instagram challenge. Yeah. And someone in your group, Kat, said, oh, you need to check out Cat Paterson and join her group. So I did, and I haven't looked back.
So it was almost serendipitous. So people who like me who lurk on social media, it's amazing. You just put out what you want to achieve for the year and the most amazing things happen. So thank you to the person. I need to now go and find who tagged us both.
I know who it was.
Oh,
I know her Instagram name, but I can't remember her real name.
So there you go, folks. See, again, it's like all the wonders of social media, and we don't get to meet people in real life, and particularly at the moment we don't really get a chance to do that. But a chance putting it out there, you've just said, right, actually this year I'm going to create my recipe book. So I love that, and thank you for trusting me and coming into our little community to get you moving forward with that and open up that kind of idea for you. So with that in mind then, so lots of cooking, covering lots of different generations actually, so primary school kids, the high school, the over 50s, people like me who are almost at the 50 thing but I don't cook enough. I tell myself I don't have enough time, and sometimes it's just about, you know, getting yourself organised and wanting some of those ideas for recipes and things that are quite simple and to be able straightforward. So how have you gone since coming in and discovering the world of creating books? Where are you at in that process, and how have you found that process?
Well, I started with your branded books workshop, which got me set up so that I could create a notebook. And I started with my food directory, which is something, almost created it for myself, I suppose. It's something I needed, a tool that was useful to me in meal planning. So I created that, and I tried out a few different cover designs as well.
Yeah.
I'm quite creative, so I'm always thinking, I never do exactly what I'm told. I'm always thinking, what could I do that's slightly different? So I tried out a few different things. And then, so that was in January. I got that done quite quickly. It was quite simple and straightforward and easy to get up and running. So I got that done. And then I was probably quite busy with school for a bit.
Yeah.
And then lockdown happened. I think I started my recipe book, still in progress.
Yeah.
And then lockdown happened, and I was trying to download, someone had a download of a lockdown diary for younger children. And I trying to download it, and I was struggling with downloading it. And then I think one of my daughters might have said, well, why don't we, we could just make our own.
Oh, yeah.
And I used them as my my inspiration and guidance about what they might like. And I created a lockdown journal for people. It's kind of it's like a keepsake, I suppose, or a time capsule.
Right, okay.
And a diary, a way of processing your emotions through lockdown.
Fantastic. So you've got kids who inspired you. So we've got young entrepreneurs, and this is the other thing that seems to be cropping up now is, parents or aunts or uncles working with, sons and daughters and nieces and nephews, and kick-starting that kind of entrepreneurial kind of thought about it, making something that they love and that they're part of. I mean, that's just incredible. And I hadn't actually thought of that before. I just thought about, people selling books, and it helps them to kind of get their business known out there, or it's just a little bit of fun, or if you're a stationery addict. But actually getting kids involved so that they feel real part of it, about creating activities that they would love to do, covers that they've designed maybe themselves, or activities. So I love that. And you posted in our little community, we do a little Friday wins kind of thing, and Kate posted, it's sold in the US. Hurrah!
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and that's the thing about when you put a book up and people don't understand, it's you create it and you put it up on Amazon's platform, but you go international, so if people find those books, so your lockdown journals have actually done quite well.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, really, and they carried on doing really well. I knew when I put it on for sale that it would be limited by time.
Sure.
And so I created it. I spent the whole of Easter weekend on it. I knew that, and that's probably the success of it for me, is that it wasn't like my recipe book where I've got forever to create this recipe book. It's taking forever. But the lockdown journal had to be done and dusted, had to be out there as soon as possible. Yeah. So I got that on, and I knew it would be a limited time that it would sell for, but it's still selling. So in fact, I had a huge sale at the beginning of June, and I don't know who made that huge. It was a big lump on my little graph of sales. It's this big lump, and I don't know who's done the order, but
yeah. So, and again, Kate kind of mentioned that in our little group about, Kat, where the heck, I've got all these sales. And sometimes when it's at the end of a month, or when Amazon catch up, there's a thing called expanded distribution. So some of the books have got kind of a little bit more interiors, so not our jotters, not our lined notebooks or anything, but something that's got a little bit of a more kind of interesting and valuable interior to it, like your lockdown journals. Expanded distribution is people like Barnes and Noble, who at the end of the month they've bought a big chunk of them. And if you go and Google, there are other stores, but actually sometimes it's Walmart, so it's a big American kind of side of it. It can end up in libraries, you name it. And sometimes I go into Barnes and Noble and have a little look around their bookshop, and you might just see your book in there. Otherwise, it might be, as you say, it could be a school that's maybe bought quite a number of them that are useful, or and the good thing is, Kate, even though you've spent that little bit of time and knew there was a deadline on it, actually the interior could be repurposed later. So activities for kids, people are always looking for that in summertime, so when we get back out and there's a bit of easing for everybody, there's an opportunity there for you so you can see how you could do that and turn it into something else.
Yeah, there's definitely potential. Yeah.
So what's the thing that, given that it's been a short time you've been in and you've really went for it since kind of joining our community in January, what's the kind of biggest win, if you like, since joining us and going through that branded books process?
Well, just being able to do it, to actually physically create a book and have it listed on Amazon, and not the the biggest benefit for me is not having to do the sales and admin side of it. Oh, so that's just, it's a passive income. And I've, you know, ever since I started my business, I have been in the back of my mind thinking, what can I have as the passive income? How can I create this passive income? So that's been the biggest bonus. That's definitely. And I can get eventually the recipe book in print. It will get there.
Yeah.
I need a deadline.
Yeah, and actually I think it's really interesting that, you know, you'd set the goal about the recipe book and then you've created these other ones, but actually I can understand if cooking is everything that you're about, you kind of want to get that right, so you can test a lot of things with your other books and see what works and see how to market them, and it's kind of playful, so it allows you a little chance. And as you say, it's changed your mindset from, oh, I need to go and get the printers and how do I do that, and then how do I sell that, you know, the thousands of copies that are clogging up a bedroom or a living room or whatever, and you don't have any of that. It's print, somebody buys it, you hold no inventory, and they send it out for you, which is just wonderfully easy.
Yeah, definitely.
But you've been doing something really interesting, and it caught my attention. So the other thing is, if you're part of my community, I tend to kind of do the professional online stocking thing. It's a throwback to a previous chapter of my life, and I'll mention that in another interview. And I spotted that on Instagram, Kate was sharing TikTok videos. And being an older individual where TikTok scares me, and I know nothing about it, I thought this was really interesting. So tell us a little bit about why you decided to use TikTok and how you use it, because it's really quite interesting for your books, and see if it gets some traction.
Well, my children, who I've mentioned already, they are 12 and 14, and they both use it a lot. And I was talking to another mum, and we were mentioning how maybe we should be monitoring this, or, you know, did we really know what? I didn't know. I mean, children at school have asked me, Miss, can I make a TikTok video as part of my assignment? And I always said no, because I didn't understand the dangers, or so I thought I better get an account now. So I got this account so I could see what they were doing and learn about the safety and the dangers and what it was about and why people are obsessed by it. And I didn't really understand it even then. I didn't really get it. And then I thought, well, I'll try and I've got an account now, I'll try and make a video. And I think I probably made one of the lockdown journals. I just played with it, and it's quite fun. The fun part for me is the making of videos. And I've had a little look to see. I think our age group are just discovering TikTok. Actually, I think it's going to get quite big quite soon for our age group. We're just working out and understanding it and realizing the fun of it, and it's a really fun platform. It's about entertainment, and no one takes themselves seriously on there. It is just about making people laugh and providing entertainment, really.
So it might be too early to say that it's doing anything to help your sales in any way, but by being on there, as you say, a little bit of playtime, a little bit of fun, and if people aren't taking themselves too seriously, then quite an interesting way. And you create videos, and do you just create the videos on your phone, or how do you do that?
I do videos and photograph. I have lots of them anyway on my phone anyway from Instagram, and I just use those. I just import them into TikTok, and it helps. It's very easy. There's lots of different ways of doing things on there, but it is very easy to do. And then I actually do use them for sales, but not on TikTok. I put them into Instagram, and hopefully that generates sales and awareness that way. I'm not sure that my target market are on TikTok yet. I think they will be, but they're not. I don't think they're there yet.
But it's a way of repurposing, so it's a way of testing out a platform, and I love that you've kind of gone on with the intention of, right, if the kids are using this, I need to make sure they're safe, you know, all of the kind of normal things that you need to put in place, but then seeing the opportunity of, wait a minute, I can put some of my lockdown journal videos on here and get a little bit, because, you know, if there are younger people, young adults or even adults, and you do different activity books, you know, because it doesn't always need to be activities for kids. You know, we're always you know, I think jigsaws were making a big comeback, and card games and all sorts. But I love that. So then you can repurpose and just put it onto Instagram, where a lot of your followers are already, and they can just see something different. And what I love about it is, so when you create a book on Amazon, if you're looking at it on mobile, it's quite static. You don't get all the look inside feature. But actually, by creating those little videos, you're giving little teasers of the interior, and you've shown that you've even used it with your two children as well.
Yeah.
So it brings it to life.
Yeah, definitely. That's I wanted it to be shown as a book in our hands. Yeah, so that you can see the size of it and what's inside and interact with it a little bit. Yeah,
I think that makes a big difference, just so that people can tangibly see rather than just a static kind of image on there. So I think it's really clever. So you can keep us up to date with how you get on TikTok. You'll suddenly be dominating TikTok, and you'll be teaching us all about it. So if MD was thinking about joining Branded Books, whether they were going to do the little DIY workshop or finally come and join our little community, if they'd never heard about us before, what would you tell them?
Well, I would say it's more than worth the small amount of money that it cost. I've made that money back quite quickly. Right. It's simple, straightforward, easy to follow. Even if you're I'm not technologically, I find it really hard, technology. But I didn't find the Branded Books hard at all. It was straightforward. So yeah, I do recommend it all the time, actually. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. So yeah, so technophobes, don't be put off. Just come and follow the step-to-step kind of guide. So if people want to find you, Kate, where's best to find you? Have you got a website? What's your Instagram?
Yeah, I've got website is makewithkate.co.uk. Instagram, I'm on there as Make with Kate. And TikTok, it's Kate Makes, and Facebook is Make with Kate. So it's quite simple.
Brilliant. So please go and check out Kate, because you'll now be waiting for her recipe book to come out. She does amazing little recipes, and yeah, go and check it out on Instagram. I kind of stalk around there a little bit, and we'll hear how she gets on with TikTok and dominates that kind of new channel for us. Thank you for listening today. If you want to join Branded Books DIY Workshop, just hop over to straighttalkingginger.com. Go to the little shop tab. You can see some of the books that I've created, and you can get access to the little DIY workshop from there. Thank you so much, Kate. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Talking to you today.
Bye.